Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 30th of May 2024. Now unfortunately guys, the prices of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market has marginally pumped down, but it's going to be really interesting to see how the price reacts over the weekend, and that would give us some indication as to which direction the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is heading towards, isn't it? Now this week guys, there is a massive event taking place, that is Consensys 2024, which I believe is sponsored by CoinDesk, and there are quite a lot of partnerships and announcements being made at that. Now, one of the most important announcements, guys, is that by the US Department of Treasury, and what they actually said is that they are not in favor of banning mixer services. This might come as a surprise, guys, but if you actually look at the explanation, it does make quite a lot of sense from the US Department of Justice and from the US Department of Treasury's point of view. So in today's episode, guys, I'll go ahead and discuss what is it Brian Nelson, who is the Undersecretary for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, and what is his stance regarding mixers. Now look guys, it's great to know that the US Department of Treasury does not want to go ahead and ban mixing services, isn't it? At the same time guys, they want to make sure that transactions are legitimate. So the big question to you guys is, what is the difference between privacy and anonymity? And let me know guys what your thoughts are regarding that. Now at Consensys 2024 guys, there was another announcement being made, and that was by PayPal, and PayPal's stablecoin, that is PYUSD, is now working on Solana blockchain as well, and they've gone ahead and given reason as to why they've gone ahead and done that. So definitely positive news. And guys, there is another interesting news in the world of payment processing services, and that is MasterCard, and they have gone ahead and launched Crypto Credential. Now look guys, using Crypto Credential, users will be able to do peer-to-peer transaction, so I'll definitely go ahead and explain that, and they're focusing on user experience guys. A part of me definitely agrees to what they're saying, because they want to go ahead and simplify wallet addresses. Because right now guys, if you want to go ahead and send cryptocurrency, you need to go ahead and understand the long series of numbers, isn't it? But they are trying to simplify that, so I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that news. Now regarding US Treasury guys, I do have another update, and they have actually published an article guys that assesses non-fungible tokens, and I'll go ahead and discuss some of the interesting findings, and I'll go ahead and explain how some of the NFT issuers and how criminals can exploit weakness in NFTs. But that thing being said guys, the US Department of Treasury has definitely highlighted some of the positives of NFTs. So really interesting report in my opinion, so I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. Now like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast guys, I'm going to be covering two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys, after a very long time, is to do with Metaverse, and this is to do with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Saudi Ministry of Culture. They have launched the first national cultural metaverse platform in the world, so we'll definitely go ahead and have a look at that. Now the second news guys has to do with United Arab Emirates, and this might be a very positive news, and the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology, also called as MOIAT, and EDB, that is Emirates Development Bank, they have partnered to launch 370 million dirhams on financing for artificial intelligence. So definitely powerful news. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm, and here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen guys, do one thing, if you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, guys, since the last 24 hours, it has gone down, but it hasn't gone down quite a lot. It has gone down by 1.52%, and the global cryptocurrency market stands at $2.53 trillion. Now, if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it is at $83.47 billion, and since the last 24 hours, guys, it is up by 13.35%. So look, guys, if the global cryptocurrency market goes down, and if the volume increases, it just means one thing, that people are going ahead and selling a lot of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? And then, guys, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and check the volume of stable coins and then compare it with the volume of decentralized exchanges. So let's say, guys, if the volume of stable coins is increased, it just means that it is a temporary decline, isn't it? Because people may be parking a lot of their funds onto stable coins because they might be anticipating some negative news in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And there may be a possibility that the prices of cryptocurrencies will be pumping up in the next coming days, probably in the next coming week as well. So let's do one thing, guys. Let's look at the volume of stable coins and then compare it to the volume of decentralized exchanges. And then we'll try to look at the 24-hour trading volume as well. But before that, guys, let me just quickly run through the volume of DeFi, because the volume of DeFi, guys, is absolutely horrendous. It is at $6.39 billion. And DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for 7.66% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, and so far the total value locked is concerned, it is at $109.01 billion, with Lido still dominating at $35.98 billion, and decentralized exchange dominance, guys, is at 25.71%. Now look, guys, for the past 3 weeks, decentralized exchange dominance used to hover somewhere between the 15 to 22% mark, but this particular week, guys, the decentralized exchange dominance has actually bumped up. And it's needless to say, guys, it is only because of Ethereum spot ETF news, isn't it? And people might be getting a lot of Ethereum, and they might be using a lot of decentralized exchanges, And yesterday, guys, in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, that is on the 29th of May, I did actually go ahead and talk about how the volume of Ethereum, I did go ahead and talk about how decentralized exchanges that were primarily working on Ethereum, their volume had surpassed quite a lot, but decentralized exchanges that were working, let's say, only on Binance BNB chain or on Solana, their volumes did drastically go down. Now, as of today, guys, Uniswap's volume is at $2.98 billion, Orca is at number 2nd, and its volume is $742.31 million. Core Finance, guys, its volume is number 3rd, and its volume is $245.32 million. Phoenix, guys, is at number 4th. It is at $212.84 million. And finally, PancakeSwap, guys, it is at $198.21 million. Now, look, guys, since the last 24 hours, the volume of decentralized exchanges marginally increased. So we could probably say that a lot of decentralized exchanges has been used, but we need to go ahead and check if the volume of stablecoins has actually increased, because that would give us some idea in which direction the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is heading towards, isn't it? But unfortunately, guys, if you look at the volume of stablecoins, it is pretty much the same as yesterday. So to be honest, guys, I cannot confidently state that in the next coming days, the price of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies may be pumping up, because today, guys, the volume of all stable coins is at $77.92 billion, and stable coins as of today is accounting for 92.13% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, Tether USDT, guys, is leading the pack, and its volume is $64.25 billion. Let's say, guys, if the volume of stable coins was well over the $100 billion mark, and if the volume of Tether USDT was around, let's say, the $70 or $80 billion mark, then I could confidently state that despite the decline in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, maybe in the next coming days and weeks, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies may be pumping up. At this point of time, guys, there is not much movement, so I honestly cannot tell. So what I'd really recommend you to do is try to look at charts and graphs and some of the technical nerds. Maybe they have some theory in which direction the price could be heading towards. But all things being said, guys, all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time, isn't it? You always need to bear that in mind. Now, the number second so far the volume of stablecoins is concerned is FDUSD, and its volume is $6.66 billion, and Circle USDC, guys, is at number 3rd, and its volume is $6.15 billion. Now, let me very quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, Bitcoin's market cap and Ethereum's market cap has definitely gone down. Bitcoin's market cap is at $1.33 trillion, whereas Ethereum's market cap is at $453 billion. If you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is at $26.72 billion, which means, guys, a lot of selling is actually going on in the world of Bitcoin, isn't it? But so far as Ethereum is concerned, it is at $17.45 billion. Now, the dominance of Bitcoin and Ethereum, guys, is pretty much the same since the last 24 hours. Bitcoin's dominance is at 52.68%. But if you look at Ethereum's dominance, guys, it has marginally gone down. Yesterday, I believe it was at 18.02%, isn't it? Today, it is at 17.90%. Now, this entire week, guys, I'm looking at decentralized apps that are working on different blockchain protocols, isn't it? And in today's episode, guys, I'm going to be looking at the top 5 decentralized apps that is currently working on EOS. Now, just a quick refresher, guys, EOS in 2017 was one of the projects labeled as Ethereum Killer. People often call Solana now as Ethereum Killer, isn't it? But EOS definitely held the title for a very long time. Unfortunately, guys, the project is not doing that great. And during the whole ICO era, guys, EOS did actually raise $4 billion. And it's no surprise what they did with the $4 billion. They went ahead and purchased quite a lot of Bitcoin. And Dan Larimer, guys, often cited as probably the most intelligent person in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space, turned out to be a scammer, isn't it? And I've often mentioned this, guys. Fluffy Pony, also called as Ricardo Spani, who used to be the lead maintainer of Monero codes, he actually did openly say that EOS might be Dan Larimer's fourth scam, and at that point of time, guys, I definitely did not like what he was saying, but looks like he was 100% right. Now, what I'm going to be doing, guys, in today's episode is, I'm going to be discussing the top 5 decentralized apps that are working only on EOS, and I'm going to be looking at the fiat value of incoming token transfers from unique active wallets to decentralize that smart contract over a period of time. And like I've been saying this entire week, guys, you can check this data yourself at dapradar.com, and then, guys, you can probably compare it with other metrics as well. And there is an option where you can select only relevant blockchain protocol. So the number one decentralized app that is working on EOS, guys, it is PayCash Swap. In terms of dollar amount, it is only $1.04 million. That is absolutely ridiculously low, isn't it? But the thing gets even worse, guys, because the number second is DeFi Box. In terms of dollar amount, guys, it is only $88,320. Third one is SportsBet.one. In terms of dollar amount, guys, it is almost half of DeFi Box. It is at $48,710. The number fourth, guys, is Alcor Exchange. In terms of dollar amount, it is $30,880. And finally, guys, at number fifth is NewDex. It is $30,400 only. Now, look, guys, unfortunately, all the hype regarding EOS has completely died down. And I do very specifically remember, guys, some of the Bitcoin maximalists and even Ethereum maximalists, they used to be talking quite a lot regarding EOS. Unfortunately, guys, the project does not seem to have materialized. So let me know, guys, are you still optimistic about EOS, and what are your general thoughts regarding EOS? Now, this particular week, guys, what I'm doing is I'm discussing some elements of smart contracts, isn't it? And I'll be discussing quite a lot of things regarding smart contracts. I also went ahead and discussed how smart contracts will work in the central bank digital world. And yesterday, guys, we also looked at smart contracts and interoperability, isn't it? Now, in today's episode, guys, what I want to do is I want to highlight some of the potential dangers and challenges of smart contracts. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? And I'm pretty much sure, guys, you may have more information as well. So if you do have any feedback or comments, mention them in the comments below, or drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. So what I want to do is, guys, next is I want to go ahead and discuss that smart contracts, despite being revolutionary and beneficial in many ways, they are not without potential negatives and dangers. So let me go ahead and highlight some of the key concerns, guys. So when you talk about security vulnerabilities, guys, smart contracts are susceptible to various security vulnerabilities, isn't it? And that could be, let's say, coding errors, hacking, or even exploits. Now, regarding coding errors, guys, smart contracts are typically written in programming language such as, let's say, Solidity for Ethereum, and there could be mistakes in codes such as, let's say, logical errors or unchecked inputs, and this can lead to unexpected behaviors or vulnerabilities that exploiters can attack. Now, look, guys, Bitcoin also had some vulnerabilities, and some of the developers from Bitcoin Cash, rather than manipulating it, they definitely highlighted it and they went ahead and got it fixed. But there might be so many cases, guys, where notorious actors did not highlight it, and they may have been benefited by these coding errors, isn't it? Now, regarding hacks and exploits, guys, malicious actors may discover and exploit vulnerabilities in smart contracts, and then they can steal funds to disrupt operations, and this has happened quite a lot, particularly in Ethereum, guys. Ethereum had something called as Ethereum DAO hack, also called as DAO attack, and that did actually take place in 2016. And the hacker, guys, exploited a vulnerability in smart contract code, resulting in theft of millions of dollars worth of Ethereum. And because of that, guys, Ethereum did decide to go and roll back the blockchain. That was an absolutely massive noise in it. So the Ethereum Classic that you see, that is technically still the original Ethereum, and the Ethereum that we see right now, that is the actual fork of the Ethereum that did actually roll back and broke all the rules regarding blockchain and immutability. Now, so far security vulnerability is concerned, guys, immutable code is also one of the key areas, and once deployed on the blockchain, smart contracts are immutable, meaning their code cannot be changed. While this feature, guys, ensures transparency and trustlessness, it also means that any bugs or vulnerabilities in the code cannot be easily rectified without deploying a new contract, potentially causing disruption and financial losses. Now, the next area, guys, I want to touch base is legal and regulatory issues. Now, the legal and regulatory landscape surrounding smart contract is still evolving, isn't it? And they might present several challenges. And one simple question, guys, I ask everyone is, are smart contracts legal? And the question is to you as well, are smart contracts legal? Because look, guys, smart contracts may not be legally recognized in all jurisdictions, raising questions about the enforceability and validity in legal disputes. And smart contracts operate on decentralized blockchain network that transcend geographical borders, making it challenging to determine which jurisdiction law applies in case of disputes or regulatory compliance as well as in it. Now look, guys, so far as tokenization is concerned, they go ahead and do KYCs, but let's say after doing KYC on the secondary platform, can the transaction take place on sanctioned countries? These are things you need to think about as well. And under legal and regulatory issues, guys, you also have compliance risk, and smart contracts in certain industries such as, let's say, finance may need to comply with regulatory requirements like KYC, that is know your customer, or AML laws, that is anti-money laundering laws, and ensuring compliance with such regulations can be complex due to decentralized and pseudonymous nature of blockchain transactions. And today, guys, I'm going to go ahead and revisit some of the drama that has to do with mixing services, and we'll go ahead and explore what is the thought process by the US Department of Treasury. Now, so far as complexity and misunderstanding is concerned, guys, this is another area regarding smart contracts, because this is an area where I do feel it could create some complexity and problems as well. And understanding and working with smart contracts, guys, require technical expertise and can be prone to errors and misunderstandings, isn't it? Now, earlier on, guys, I talked about EOS, isn't it? And I also talked about Dan Larimer. Now, one of the statements that he did actually state that less than 1% of the population truly understands the code regarding Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. Now, he's 100% right. And what he further went on to state is that out of the 1%, less than 1% of them truly even know how to go out and write these codes. Now, look, guys, he's 100% right. Now, we talk about open source, but unfortunately, guys, very few people truly understand how to write these codes, isn't it? And it is an extremely technical concept. And writing and auditing smart contracts requires specialized knowledge of blockchain technology and programming language. Even experienced developers, guys, do make mistakes due to complex nature of smart contracts development. And also, guys, user interaction with smart contracts may inadvertently trigger unintended actions if they do not fully understand the contract's functionality or limitation. For example, guys, sending funds to the wrong contract address or providing incorrect input data can result in irreversible action, isn't it? And later on, guys, in today's episode, I'll go and discuss what is it that Microsoft are doing, because they definitely want to go and fix this issue. Now, the next area, guys, I want to touch bases regarding operational risks, and several operational risks are associated with the execution and function of smart contracts. Now, smart contracts, guys, often rely on external data sources, that is oracles and external data. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, listen to the episode that I released last week. I went in and discussed everything regarding oracles. We discussed decentralized oracles, how Oracle works, and what are the use cases of oracles. So once you go and listen to that, you'll get a better understanding of what oracles are. And oracles, guys, are used to execute transactions based on real-world events. However, the accuracy and reliability of these oracles can easily be compromised, leading to incorrect contract execution and financial losses. Now, look, guys, blockchain technology, they also have network congestions, and blockchain networks, particularly ones like Ethereum, can experience congestion during periods of high transaction volumes. And it's needless to say, guys, Solana blockchain, they have had several such congestion, isn't it? And this congestion can delay the execution of smart contracts, affecting time-sensitive operations such as token swaps or DeFi transactions. And, guys, the functionality of smart contracts is inherently tied to the stability and reliability of underlying blockchain network, isn't it? And technical issues, network forks, or consensus failures on the blockchain can easily disrupt the execution of smart contracts and cause unexpected behaviors. Now, the next area, guys, I want to touch bases regarding economic risks, and smart contracts, guys, introduces economic risks that are related to financial losses and market manipulation. And errors or vulnerabilities in smart contracts can result in significant financial losses for users and stakeholders. Now, look, guys, we know everything that happened to Terra Luna, isn't it? And that was technically something that someone found out in the smart contract. And also, guys, apart from that, for instance, a coding error in decentralized finance protocol could lead to the loss of user funds that are actually locked in smart contracts. And there is also heavy market manipulation, isn't it? And smart contracts interacting with decentralized finance protocols are susceptible to market manipulation or arbitrage opportunities, and malicious actors may exploit vulnerabilities in smart contracts to manipulate token prices or exploit inefficiencies in decentralized exchanges. Now, look, guys, there is a court case going on regarding Heisenberg. He did try to find out some vulnerabilities in smart contract. Now, according to him, guys, he did what was legally right, but the court decided it in the other way. Now, if you truly understand that court case, guys, I truly feel what he did was trying to identify some of the vulnerabilities in smart contract, and based on the understanding, guys, looks like what he did was perfectly right, but because people lost money, the court decided it in the other way. Now, the next point I want to touch base, guys, is regarding privacy concerns, and privacy concerns arise from transparent and immutable nature of blockchain transactions. Now, look, guys, while blockchain transactions are transparent and publicly accessible, they may reveal sensitive information about users and their transaction. This lack of privacy, guys, can be a concern for individuals and organizations seeking to protect the financial information of business dealings. And, guys, earlier at the beginning of the episode, I asked as well, isn't it, what is the difference between privacy and anonymity? So these are things you definitely need to be aware about as well. And later on, I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And also, information stored on the blockchain, including transaction details and contract parameters, is permanent and publicly verifiable, isn't it? So in cases where sensitive or confidential data is inadvertently stored on the blockchain, there is a very high risk of data leaks and privacy breaches. Now, the final point, guys, I want to touch base is ethical and social implications. Now, look, guys, smart contracts raises ethical considerations related to automation, accountability, and unintended consequences, and smart contracts execute automatically without absolutely human intervention, isn't it? This raises questions about accountability and fairness, especially in cases where human judgment or discretion may be necessary. Now, look, as immutability and deterministic nature of smart contracts means that once it is deployed, they execute as programmed without the possibility of intervention or modification, and this lack of flexibility can lead to unintended outcomes or undesirable consequences that may not be easily rectified. So, Lucas, in conclusion, the only thing I have to say is that while smart contracts offer numerous benefits in terms of automation, efficiency, and trustlessness, they also introduce various risks and challenges that must be carefully considered and addressed by developers, users, and regulators alike. And by implementing robust security measures, adhering to best practices in smart contract development, and fostering greater transparency and accountability in the blockchain ecosystem, it is possible to mitigate many of these risks and unlock the full potential of smart contract technology. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this, and if you do have something to add, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And unfortunately, guys, the prices of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance BNB coin all have marginally gone down. And if you look at the fear and greed index, right now it is still at greed, but the number is 61. Now, the price of Bitcoin, guys, is at $67,638. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.98%. But since the last 7 days, it is down by 2.47%. Now, could it be possible, guys, because funds were transferred from Mt. Gox Exchange, which is, I believe, roughly around $9 billion, isn't it? Because of that, people have panicked. Most likely, yes. So only time will tell, guys, if the prices do actually pump up. Now, Ethereum, guys, is at $3,769. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.91%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.66%. Now, look, guys, Ethereum spot ETF has been approved, but once the trading kicks in, I wouldn't be surprised if the price of Ethereum crosses maybe the $5,000 mark as well. Now, so far as Binance BNB is concerned, guys, it is well below the $600 mark. It is $595. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.01%. And since the last 7 days, it is down by 3.14%. Now, look, guys, there is Consensys 2024 going on in US right now. And if I'm not mistaken, guys, it is taking place in Austin, Texas, isn't it? So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to Consensys 2024 website. This event is actually sponsored by CoinDesk, and they have quite a lot of useful sessions taking place, and there are quite a lot of partnerships that has been announced. Now, look, guys, I'm really curious to check if they have Consensys 2024, 2025 in Dubai. Based on my understanding, guys, there is a very high possibility for that thing to happen. Now, one of the announcement or statement that was actually made did actually grab my attention, and that was by the US Department of Treasury, guys. And they actually said they are not aiming to ban cryptocurrency mixers, and this is according to Brian Nelson, guys, who's the Undersecretary for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence. Now, look, guys, what he actually said, that rather than banning cryptocurrency mixers, FinCEN's 2023 proposal seeks to increase transparency by requiring crypto companies to report transactions involving mixers, which are often used to evade anti-money laundering regulations. Now, look, as Brian Nelson emphasized the need for privacy tools that do not facilitate criminal activities, and he's actually called for collaboration between the industry and Treasury to enhance financial privacy without actually enabling illicit financing. Now, look, as we all know what happened regarding Tornado Cashes and it. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, read through the transcript of that case. So my big question, guys, is when you're building protocols that are connected to privacy, you need to understand the key difference between privacy and anonymity. Now, I know of one protocol, guys, that is Panther Protocol. What they want to do is they want to have privacy, but at the same time anonymity. But let's say in cases which involve KYC and anti-money laundering, there is an option where individuals can go and share the privacy. That way everything gets tackled, isn't it? And Brian Nelson, guys, said that majority of mixers he's seeing are not actually created to enhance privacy, but are made to skirt anti-money laundering and KYC reporting requirements, thus making them very attractive to bad actors, including North Korea. Now, if you look at it from this perspective, guys, looks like the US Department of Treasury is right, isn't it? Because essentially that is what their role is. And what he actually said, guys, is it's not that everybody needs to know who you're transacting with. just that the people and virtual asset service providers alike need to know they are not unwittingly funding Hamas and North Korean weapon programs. Now, keeping that in mind, guys, I kind of agree to it. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, try to understand the key difference between privacy and anonymity and then make up your own mind. Now, guys, at Consensys 2024, there was another announcement being made, and that was by PayPal. And PayPal, guys, announced that a stablecoin, that is PayPal PYUSD, is now available on Solana blockchain, thereby enhancing its speed and cost effectiveness. And Jose Fernandez de Ponte of PayPal emphasized that this move supports their goal of creating a stable digital currency for commerce, and Shiraz Share of Solana Foundation, guys, highlighted that Solana's speed and scalability makes it ideal for innovative, accessible payment solutions. And the announcement, guys, was made in Consensys 2024, and there are quite a lot of announcements, guys. Now I'm pretty much sure, guys, next week we'll definitely be hearing quite a lot of partnership news as well. Now, regarding US Department of Treasury, guys, there is a really interesting report that is being published that talks regarding NFTs, and the US Department of Treasury, guys, have released a report called as Illicit Financial Risk Assessment of NFTs. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in the show notes below, there is an official report. Definitely feel free to go and read through it. Now, let me give you a quick summary, guys, of that report, because the US Treasury's risk assessment examines how NFTs and non-fungible tokens and also NFT platforms may be exploited for illicit finance, such as, let's say, money laundering and terrorism financing. Now, this assessment, guys, is part of the 2022 Digital Asset Action Plan to address illicit financial risk and follows concerns noted in 2024 National Risk Assessment. Now, here's the interesting thing to note, guys. What that report actually states is that while most illicit finance activities occur in fiat currencies, NFTs are vulnerable to frauds, scams, and money laundering, and this is due to cybersecurity issues, regulatory gaps, and market volatility, isn't it? Now, what is a bit positive in that report, guys, is the assessment finds that the NFTs are rarely used for terrorists or are often involved in fraud and scams, and criminals, guys, can exploit weakness in NFTs and the associated regulatory frameworks to launder money from other crimes. Now, look, guys, the NFT market saw significant growth in 2021 and even 2022, but 2023 it fluctuated, isn't it? And the report states, guys, that several mitigation measures, including industry solutions, law enforcement actions, blockchain analysis, and existing regulations, have partially addressed these risks. And in that report, guys, there are recommendations of further actions, including applying and enforcing regulations on NFTs, because they want to go out and raise awareness on existing obligations and engage with private sectors and international partners, and they want to address and mitigate NFT related risk. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, if you're someone who's really fascinated by NFTs, definitely feel free to go out and check it out. Now, guys, let's discuss a really interesting news, and this is to do with MasterCard. And MasterCard's crypto credential, guys, has gone live with its first peer-to-peer transaction, and this solution not only replaces complex wallet addresses with user-friendly aliases, but also makes sending blockchain transactions secure, transparent, and accessible, isn't it? And crypto credential service, guys, allows users to create a simple username to send and receive cryptocurrencies via exchanges like Bit2Me, Lyrium, and Masado Bitcoin in Brazil, Argentina, and France. And this service, guys, has launched its first peer-to-peer transactions, simplifying wallet addresses and enhancing security, transparency, and accessibility of blockchain transactions. Now, look, guys, I haven't tested yet, but look, Binance also has something similar, that is peer-to-peer transactions, isn't it? Now, could it be possible, guys, that some notorious actors might be using a tricky name and they might be spelling it intentionally incorrectly in order to go ahead and get more funding? So, for example, guys, let's say if I have blockchain DXB, it is rather easier to give it out to some person, isn't it? They could add, let's say, double I, or instead of a no, they could put the number 0 and try to trick people to go ahead and send these funds. These are how notorious actors tend to think, isn't it? But that thing being said, guys, crypto credential definitely makes user experience so much easier, isn't it? So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, if they do find out any vulnerabilities in this. I'm pretty much sure, guys, notorious actors will definitely try to manipulate this as well. But overall, guys, this is definitely positive news. Now, I do very specifically remember, guys, that GoDaddy, which is a domain service provider, they had partnered with Ethereum name services. So essentially, guys, what you can do is whatever domain name that you have, you can connect that to MetaMask, and rather than giving the entire public address, you can just give your domain name. That is a really interesting use case as well. So those were the news, guys, from cryptocurrency blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now, the first news, guys, is to do with Metaverse, and this is to do with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Saudi Minister of Culture, guys. They have launched the world's first national cultural Metaverse platform, and this initiative is supported by generative media intelligence technology and the partnership, guys, is with Drop Group for the entire Metaverse development, and they use Hyperledger Fabric 2.5 blockchain technology, and the platform is named Saudi Heritage Metaverse, and it offers a blend of cultural shows, performances, and digital innovation. Now, really, I'm not sure, guys, if this thing can be accessed, let's see, with MetaQuest 2 or MetaQuest 3 or with Apple Vision headset, but so far as this news is concerned, guys, the National Cultural Museum platform hosts a dynamic digital environment for real life-like experiences, including attractions like the History Walk, and it also features dedicated sectors for music, art, history, culinary arts and crafts, and they also incorporate many video games for user engagement, and it also has performance centers to streamline events, and also Founding Day Commencement Symphony concert will be streamed on that platform. And look, guys, this claims to be a fully immersive web-based experience, but are they going ahead and tackling all of the five senses? I really am not sure. Probably after recording this podcast, I'll try to get on my MetaQuest 3 headset and try to see what the user experience is, because it is accessible via mobile, augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual headsets, desktop and mobile phones as well. Now, they want to make it extremely easier for users in the Metaverse, even for complete entry levels as well, and they want to promote inclusivity for a diverse global audience. And the National Cultural Metaverse platform, guys, allows millions from Saudi Arabia and worldwide to experience Saudi events virtually, and this marks a significant leap in cultural expression and participation to digital means. Now, look, guys, if you're in the world of boxing, right now Saudi Arabia is the home of boxing, isn't it? I'm really curious to check if there is any boxing events that we can experience in the Metaverse platform. That, in my opinion, will be an absolutely game changer. There is UFC coming up, and I tend to watch quite a lot of UFC events, guys, and based on the information, guys, looks like Saudi Arabia will definitely be making UFC and MMA their home place as well, so definitely positive news. Now, guys, let's discuss some news in the world of artificial intelligence, and this is from United Arab Emirates, and this news, guys, is actually published by the official government channel, that is www.wam.ae, that is the Emirates News Agency. So let me go ahead and read out what this news is all about. Because the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology, also called as MOIAT, they have partnered with EDB, that is Emirates Development Bank, to launch 370 million dirham finance for artificial intelligence. And this announcement was made during the third edition of Make It to the Emirates Forum on the 27th and 28th of May at the Abu Dhabi Energy Center. And the forum, guys, was organized by Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology, with the Abu Dhabi Department of Economic Development, and also with ADNOC, and the AI Innovation Program, guys, is part of the ministry's efforts to boost innovation and accelerate the adoption of advanced technologies in the industry. And the program aims to create new industries supported by cutting-edge technologies under the Technology Transformation Program. And this news, guys, aligns with Emirates Development Bank's development mandate to advance economic growth and industrial innovation across 5 priority sectors. And these sectors, guys, include manufacturing, advanced technology, food security, healthcare and renewables. And the AI Innovation Program fosters collaboration between prominent industry players and technology developers. It aims to harness cutting-edge AI technologies to solve pressing industrial challenges in the national industry. And the program, guys, provides opportunities for local and global technology developers and startups to showcase their expertise, and it enhances efficiency, productivity, and sustainability by leveraging novel AI technologies. And this initiative, guys, facilitates access to finance critical for driving industrial transformation, and LUCAS participants will gain access at no cost to a diverse network of technology developers, and this enables knowledge sharing and removes financial barriers to expedite AI solutions development and implementations in UAE, isn't it? So definitely positive news. And the program, guys, supports the development of cutting-edge technologies to address the UAE's industrial challenges, and this, guys, positions the United Arab Emirates as a competitive player in the technological development space. And Sarah Al-Amiri, the Ministry of State for Public Education and Advanced Technology, emphasized the UAE's commitment to pioneering AI policies and frameworks. And Ahmad Mohammed Al-Lakbi, the CEO of Emirates Development Bank, highlighted the program's role in transforming manufacturing and specialized industries, aligning with UAE's industrial strategy and national objectives for sustainable development. So definitely positive news. Now look, since the last 3 months I'm noticing is, so far as artificial intelligence is concerned, UAE has definitely taken leaps and bounds. Now look, I wouldn't be surprised in the next coming weeks and months, Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates will definitely be leading innovation in the field of artificial intelligence. So definitely positive news. And that's about all, guys, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world. From Crypto and Coffee Date from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, please feel free to go and check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. It is loaded with useful information in the world of central bank digital currency, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, Metaverse, and even artificial intelligence. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Terry who asks, are there any external factors that will impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in a positive or negative way? Now this is a really interesting question, Terry, because look, in the cryptocurrency world, absolutely anything is possible, isn't it? And we have seen things completely go belly up over the weekend. So at this point of time, I can't think of any macro level factors that will directly or indirectly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But let's say there's geopolitical chaos that is going on right now, and I'm seeing so many stories regarding Rafah. Could that have an impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Directly not, but maybe indirectly yes, because there's a lot of pressure on the Biden administration and also on the Israel government, and the entire world, generally speaking, is not looking that good, isn't it? And if I'm not mistaken, UK, they will be having an election as well. So there are factors that may not be directly connected to cryptocurrencies that may trigger some movement over the weekend. Now, apart from that, what I can think of is the Federal Reserve Board. They do have an FOMC meeting, and if I'm not mistaken, they have a meeting somewhere between the 10th and 11th of June, and that news will definitely impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now, Federal Chair Jerome Powell will be making a decision whether to keep the interest rate hike, reduce the interest rate hike, or increase it. Now, irrespective of any of these decisions, it will definitely have an impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in a positive or negative way. Now, based on my understanding, I wouldn't be surprised if it decides to keep the interest rate as it is, and if that thing happens, I'm pretty much sure the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will actually go down, because look, there's US elections coming up, and people do actually want the interest rate to go down. But because the inflation has been picking up pace, I'm pretty much sure Jerome Powell will not be doing that. And I did actually read a couple of reports. I believe it was from JP Morgan or Standard Chartered. They did actually state that they are not expecting any rate cuts. Unfortunately, in the cryptocurrency and blockchain world, that will turn out to be negative and the prices will not be increasing, Terry. But apart from that, Terry, I can't think of any macro level factors, let's say from a cryptocurrency and blockchain point of view. If there are any changes that have been made, let's say switching from proof of work to proof of stake, or the Bitcoin mining industry, absolutely nothing. The only other thing I can think of, Terry, is the trading of Ethereum to actually kick in. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, and even for our listeners, try to follow Alec Balcones. He would constantly keep providing update on what the S1B form is, because once that is approved, then the trading will actually kick in for Ethereum, and I'm pretty much sure, Terry, that news will definitely impact the price of Ethereum, and along with that, a lot of meme coins, a lot of NFT protocols will be pumping up as well, and that will also pull up the price of Bitcoin. But definitely an interesting question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series in Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, please feel free to go and check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursday we have Crypto and Coffee and Eat podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, from cryptocurrency, blockchain, and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.